Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and I'm back with another episode of Tekkit. This is my third time trying to start this episode. There's been some, we could call them technical difficulties. As you can see, I have built a whole bunch of stuff. None of it really does anything right now. I was kind of just experimenting, seeing what all I could do, including this, which, as of right now, does... oh, maybe it is doing something. Maybe I was mistaken. Anyways, this is not something that I'm going to be dealing with much right now. I will be in the future. For now, my goal was I'm just going to kind of walk in a direction, see what I can find. This is starting like some build craft stuff, which I will certainly be going over in the future. As you can see, I've built a lot of stuff that doesn't do a lot right now. Will later. But that's okay. For now, I'm just going to sort of go walk, see what I can find, see if I can find anything interesting, anything useful, new caves, because one of the big barriers that's kind of keeping me from making a lot of progress right now is that I just need more diamonds. So that of course is going to take, and let me actually save here. So just in case I don't end up losing my inventory. Alright. Another thing, oddly enough, that I end up needing a lot of is wool. So I've been collecting quite a bit of wool. And again, I apologize for this series kind of being a bit of a slow start, but there's just like a lot of materials that I need. The biggest being diamond. And oh right, so last time I talked a lot about using equivalent exchange. Turns out equivalent exchange is kind of like borked right now, like it just doesn't really work very well. And some of the like beginning materials for the new versions of equivalent exchange are currently work in progress, so they just don't work. Which means you can't really start equivalent exchange, which means you can't really get to the end of equivalent exchange where things become very useful. So that's getting put on hold. I'm going to as you saw, I've spent some time looking at some buildcraft stuff. I'm going to spend more time looking at buildcraft stuff off camera, because a lot of that is me going back and forth off camera, looking at recipes and figuring out how to make things and figuring out like the best order to do stuff, which is not the most fun thing to watch. And I know that because it's not the most fun thing for me to do at all. So and the problem is there have been big updates. Not that this is like a huge problem, because updates are good, but there's been big updates to a lot of the mods that are kind of a core part of Tekkit. And because of that, a lot of the info that is out there about Tekkit is now outdated. A lot of the recipes, things like that, just are not relevant anymore, because certain items have just been like eliminated from Tekkit, or the various mods that used them, things like that. So yeah, in terms of that, it's kind of a learning process here, just figuring out what to do. But I do know for a fact that I need tons more materials, so that is going to be what we're doing here. Like, I'm building what I can off camera using the materials I've got, but it only gets me so far, as you could imagine. So that is kind of the update for what is going on with Tekkit. Hopefully I can continue making some progress. Ooh, well, this is interesting. A little curious as to why it's all lit up. Like, is there lava somewhere? Oh, Well, no, that's just the holes in the ceiling is why it's lit up. Duh. Gotta use that head of mine. But it looks like this may be a good area. Okay, I'm going to try and stop this water. The other thing is I am kind of low on coal again. I'm not sure, I can't remember how many of the recipes I used actually used coal. But coal and iron are like crazy important, even with the fact that there's so many new ores. Coal and iron gets used like all the time. So that is something to keep in mind here, is that I basically can never slack on collecting coal and iron. Whoa, okay. That was interesting. Alright, let's get some of this stuff. And I do still have mobs turned off because I just don't want to deal with all that hassle. Again, hopefully that does not bother anyone. But for the time being, I feel like we've seen the mobs, we've seen what they do. I think everyone pretty much gets it. At this point, they're just an annoyance that are kind of keeping me from making real progression. So, at least for the time being, I'm going to keep them off for a bit so that I can get some things done. Copper is also incredibly important. Tons and tons of recipes use copper. So, of course, at this point, I'm still just kind of going with collect everything that I can carry. So, that's kind of my MO here. This is quite an interesting cave here. Lots and lots of marble. Okay, so kind of like an outline of what's going to happen. One of the kind of end points, not really that it's an end point, but kind of one of the initial goal points, I guess you could say, of Buildcraft is getting to the point where you can build a quarry. In a quarry, basically, you can set up an outlined space that's up to 64 by 64 blocks, and then it will just dig that much down, like forever. And basically, you can pipe the output of that quarry basically into chests. Okay, this is a really interesting thing we've got here. I like it. And so, like, you can basically automate mining a huge area. And of course that's good because actually mining that amount by yourself would, one, cost a ton of materials in terms of things like picks and stuff like that, but also would just be really, really time consuming. And that's part of Buildcraft, is that Buildcraft and Industrial Craft, those kind of things, they basically reduce the amount of stuff that you actually have to do for yourself, which is kind of cool. And it gets to the point where you can automate a whole bunch of stuff, even to the point of like automating crafting, because you can actually make automatic crafting tables that will, you can basically program it a recipe and it will just make that recipe over and over, which is all super cool stuff that I'm looking forward to. But we've got a ways to go before we get there, of course. And that's what we were seeing with like the pipes, stuff like that. That's all the beginnings of like some Buildcraft stuff, like the very beginnings, because I am not very, like, understanding of English, apparently. No, but I don't really know, like, how a lot of that stuff works. So I'm just kind of slowly figuring out off camera so that I can come back at the beginning of each episode and go, hey, here's the stuff I made that didn't work. But one day it will work. It'll all work together, and it's gonna blow your flippin' minds. You're gonna go, wow, that IndieGeek, he's a smart dude. I'm gonna go, yep, yes I am. Alright, so let's just keep this up because this has been pretty awesome as far as finding materials. That was strange. The funny thing is, like, if you play multiplayer, that's normal because it's just like server lag. I've never quite figured out why it happens sometimes in single player. I mean, unless Tekkit is connecting me, like, to a server or something. That would be strange. Not totally sure why it would do that. I mean, unless it's, like, trying to always be looking for updates. But even then, it seems weird. So, I don't know. I can't explain it. Alright. Yeah, I kept, like, I had an outline because what I wanted to do was actually show off some of the building of that stuff. But, so I'd, like, pick a few things to build that I found online as kind of, like, starting points for Tekkit or a certain mod in Tekkit, and then I would go start the video, and I would start to try and build those things, and they wouldn't work. The recipes just wouldn't work. And so I'd go look it up in like a little more depth, and find out that the recipes no longer exist because the mod is a work in progress, and a bunch of stuff has been deleted from it. So, you know, weird things like that over and over. Which makes sense because all of these mods are kind of always work in progress. Because basically, like, Tekkit tries to stay as up to date as they can with Minecraft, but of course every time a Minecraft update comes out, all the mods have to update to conform with new things that happen in Minecraft to take those new items and stuff like that into account. So what ends up happening is that stuff gets out of date, and then it's basically just like perpetually work in progress, and that's basically what's going on with all of it. But that's okay. It's still fun. Still tons of cool things to do. Still tons of cool things I can make. I just have to change my plans a little and not go for some of the mods that I was wanting to do. Okay. So, this has turned out to be quite the nice little cave system here. Not sure if I'll end up finding diamond or not. It'd be cool if I did. Wow, I've already got like a full inventory here. Alright, let me go back up here first of all. Let's see what I can get. Probably worth plugging that up. And that's probably exactly what I'll do here in just a second. Yeah, the coal is sometimes just like never ending, but that's good because I need a ton of it, so not really like too concerned about that. And as soon as I've done collecting this vein of coal, I'm actually going to save my inventory again, I think. just to be safe. Because I am getting to the point where lava certainly... Oh, okay. Where lava certainly has some potential to show up and ruin my day. And I know it's like a little kind of like cheating, but also I just don't want to mine for 40 minutes and then lose everything to lava again. So that's kind of my justification for that. Alright. Yeah, again, this is quite the system here. We are going to be finding a lot of cool materials, I think. Again, I'm not sure if this is just due to Minecraft's new like procedural generation, or if the kind of better caves are due to a mod, or what. But the caves are much more interesting than I remember them being back when I used to play. Which is good to see. It's nice to see kind of some new stuff. Alright. Yeah, I mean, the problem with having so many different types of ore and stuff like that is that, as you're seeing here, like, it did not take long for me to basically have a full inventory. Because, of course, with so many different ore, you're going to have more slots filling up with maybe, like, less total ore found. If that makes sense. Because if it was vanilla, we'd really only have, like, the 4 or 5 things. Whereas with all these mods, we've got, like, a lot. I mean, some of this I can get rid of. I could easily get rid of that. I can get rid of the apple. I only have 1 piece of wool, so I can get rid of that. Now let's go ahead and save my inventory again. And figure out where I want to go next. Just trying to figure out if there's kind of like a natural progression through this cave. It doesn't exactly look like it. It kind of twists and turns on itself a whole lot. So there's a really good chance of me missing a lot of stuff here. Not that that is a huge deal. Yeah, this really opens up. Oh, okay, so I ended up back where I was a little bit ago, which is kind of nice. Geronimo. Alright. Let's get this tin. Yeah, again, you know, huge apologies for the fact that you know, these first, I wouldn't be surprised if even like the first 10 episodes were kind of full of just like ore collection, things like that. But then after that, the kind of manual collecting of ore should be pretty low. Because it's going to get to the point where I can automate most of this stuff, and I'm going to spend my time basically building cool stuff. So, you know, I think this is going to be less of an alternation like every episode, like the original Minecraft series I did was, because I tried keeping that like 1 or 2 episodes of a thing and then something new the next time. This is going to be more like, you know, maybe 10 episodes of one thing and then alternating. But that's also going to contribute to the fact of this being a kind of much longer series, which I think everyone will enjoy. Alright, let's get some of this stuff. and then continue heading down. It looks like we might be heading down into something really interesting here, which is nice. Okay, I need to get rid of... That's an easy thing to get rid of. Alright, and then, you know, I'm still not totally sure, like I said, about which things I need to be getting and which things I should just be avoiding. Because I'm sure that some of these ores are probably okay to kind of just forget about. Similar to, I guess, kind of like in vanilla, you pretty much ignore like lapis, and then sometimes, like for the most part, you ignore gold as well. I know gold does a couple things, but let's see if I can cut off this these kind of source blocks here. Indeed I did. That should help navigation a little bit anyways. Alright. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, okay, so I guess I won't be getting that. Let's see what we are heading down into. Yep, I figured there would be lava, considering it was lit up. But that's good, that's okay. Lava is, for the most part, a good sign when mining, as long as you're careful. Not that I can really say too much about that, but I will use this opportunity to resave my inventory, because now we are getting into some potentially dangerous territory. So, let's see what I can do about this. This should be easy enough to plug up. Alright. Come on. Yay. Thank you. Thought maybe those last couple weren't going to comply. But they ended up doing it. Alright, I'm being careful not to go down there yet, until I'm sure that I could escape fast enough if I need to. Like I said, I really wish that silver didn't look so much like diamond. Because it's close enough that, like, for a brief second I think, oh, diamond. But, it's different enough that I pretty quickly realize it's not. Alright, again, I need to get rid of some things. Let's see. I guess the marvel. The marvel? Is that what I just said? I feel like I just said marvel instead of marble. Flint is easy to get rid of. And then... yeah, I guess the sticks. And the leather. Okay. Cool. Alright, so I got everything out of that. Redstone is also much more important than I thought it was. Much more important than I gave it credit for being. So, redstone has also joined the normal collection list. And as far as what I can do here, I'm probably getting close to needing to head back. It'd be nice if I didn't, and I won't just yet, because I do want to see if I can get a little bit more done. I know there's a piece of ore there, but I also just don't enjoy mining in water, so I will let that piece go. Just not worry about it. Ah, that was weird. Alright, got some gold. It's nice. Haven't really found much of that. But gold is always a sign to me that we're potentially getting closer to diamond, so I do like finding gold. Of course, I need to get rid of something to be able to pick up the gold. What is not going to be useful? Yeah, I guess I can get rid of the meat. That did it for me. And then I need to be smart about the way that I use this ore, because what I found out is that with Buildcraft there is actually an item, like a kind of like a workbench kind of thing, similar to like a furnace, called a pulverizer. And a pulverizer turns your ore into dust, and then your dust you can smelt into ore, something like that. But basically, the way that works is that the way the pulverizer works, making the dust, there's a chance of it making double dust, which of course would yield twice as much of whatever. What is that? I kind of want to get rid of something just to see what it is. Oh, I don't ever like this part. I guess I'll get rid of this. What is it? Raw silicon. Okay. Is that where I came from? Yeah, it must be. Alright, so there is that area. And I guess that just leaves going back up now. I can actually ride this waterfall up and go check out what's going on over there. You know, ideally I would be able to find at least one diamond before this episode is over, although I am not counting on it. Oh, I should probably get some torches into my hotbar. What do we have over here? Oil? Yep. Yep. That we do. Alright, well, let me get some of this. Pretty sure this is what actually makes the uranium. And then I don't know what I need to actually smelt the uranium ore, because I've tried, and I can't with what I have, so that's kind of a mystery to me right now. In just a second here, I'm going to check how deep I am. Okay. That oil is causing like lots of problems. So yeah, I'd want to be a little lower for the potential to find diamonds. So I don't know, maybe I go back down that waterfall and just see about going to find some diamonds. Because like I said, that is like a kind of a primary goal here of this episode. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to hit that. That sounded dirtier than I meant it to. Oh, am I really out of space for that too? Oh my gosh. Oh, I've got so much extra cobble. Goodness, this thing just like, it never ends. Alright. Let me get some of this coal. And because of my goals here, I'm going to go down. Yeah, out of room for coal, but okay, I do want to get the iron. Alright, so there is that. Okay, again, this is where I just was like 2 minutes ago. What in the world is going on down here? Alright, just weird stuff. Alright, so yep, I'm gonna ride this back down. Now where am I? 17. That's kind of what I want to see. So I am actually going to do a little bit of this. I know this is nobody's favorite thing, including my own, but you know, if I can find some diamond, it will all be worth it, right? Of course, maybe what I should do is position myself in such a way that I will be digging towards my house. So like over here. Yeah. Let's do it. Again, this may be an episode that does not end back at the house. Not that it's much of a house yet. And I promise that's coming as well. I know that things have gotten a little strange and a little out of order, but all in good time. We will get to where we want to be. What do I get rid of? What do I get rid of? Okay, shovel is gone. Of course, it picked up the cobblestone, which is not what I wanted. Alright. Oh, and I'm actually out of... Okay. Well... Really? Dang. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to give myself an iron pickaxe, because otherwise I was just going to go through all of the hassle of building one anyways down here, and I would rather I spend this time trying to get out. So I'm going to play this game where I try and get this out, like, basically at the house. Because that would be great if I can get that to work. Holy cow. Okay, this is the other wild thing because of how many ore there are, how many different types of ore there are. So we just get these like big crazy veins of it. Alright. Okay, ferrous ore, more iron. Perfect. Oh, it's not done. Jeez. Alright. Okay, now it's done. Let's continue getting out of here. Oh, I found like a little offshoot of the cave. Interesting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, mine this stuff, and then basically just block up this area so that we can just continue our way out of here. So yeah, that's exactly what I want. Because I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Alright. And I mean, hopefully, like ideally, this would end, like I would end up at the surface basically like at my house. Of course, the chances of that are kind of slim. I mean, it helps that I can see where my house is, but I think I'm going to still be a little ways away from the house by the time I surface. But, you know, wishful thinking is never a bad thing, really. And then, of course, this will just be a nice path for future expeditions, because, as you saw, we were nowhere near being finished with this whole area. So, there's definitely a lot still to do. Let's see, I'm at 43, so probably not too much farther. Alright, I like how fast those mine. Well, there's our dirt. And it looks like I probably lucked out and will not be drowning here. Of course, I still have to actually get out. This doesn't quite count as getting out quite yet. Yeah, maybe it's a little farther than I thought. Well, I'm certainly going to end up near the house, if nothing else. Which is nice, because then I can just add this as a map marker. And basically be able to get back here really, really quickly. Anytime that I want. I'm not sure what we'll be doing next episode. It's a couple days away, so I've got a little bit of time to kind of think and plan that out. As well as I'll probably play around with some stuff while I'm smelting all of this. Or I guess I won't be smelting all of this. Well, what do you know? Okay, so let me pull up M, waypoint, add. Let's call it cave. Okay. And then, boom. Beautiful. So, just like that, we are back. So, I think that is where we will end this one. Again, sorry that it was such a mining-heavy episode, but it's kind of the nature of the thing right now. Yeah, I feel like this is almost working. I think I need more of these. But we'll see. I'll play around with this some before next time. But this is where I'm going to end this one. So, as always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you would like to comment on. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos every single day. And if you liked this episode of Tekkit, then please do consider clicking the like button, because that helps me out a lot. And I definitely appreciate everything you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.